On moonlit nights, the riverside village was eerily silent. An ancient banyan tree stood at the riverbank, its long roots dangling like the hair of a sorrowful woman. The villagers whispered about a ghost in white that haunted the place, but few dared to find out the truth. Ha, a young fisherman, never believed in ghost stories. That night, after a disappointing catch, he paddled his boat toward the riverbank, where clusters of water hyacinths floated idly. As he leaned over to pull in his net, a faint whisper drifted through the air from beneath the banyan tree. Ka froze. His spine tingled as he turned his gaze toward the ancient tree. Through the dense foliage, a white figure loomed. The figure slowly turned around. In the dim moonlight, Ka saw a pair of deep, dark eyes, a long curtain of hair hiding part of a pale face, and a faint, eerie smile. Terror surged through him. He scrambled away, his legs trembling beneath him, sensing something cold and invisible trailing just behind. By dawn, the village was buzzing with fear. Ka lay feverish in bed, mumbling incoherently. The ghost, the woman in white, the banyan tree. His mother, frantic, lit incense and prayed. Old Man Duong, a respected elder, had never believed in spirits. Yet when he heard what happened, his face darkened with recognition. He knew the story all too well. Years ago, there was a young woman named Lua, known for her beauty and kindness. She had fallen in love with a school teacher who had just arrived in the village. Their love was pure, their wedding set, but tragedy struck. One morning, the villagers found the teacher's lifeless body floating on the river. No one knew how he had died. Lua, devastated, spent every day at the riverside mourning her lost love. Then one evening, she vanished. When they finally found her, she was hanging lifeless from the banyan tree's branches. From that night on, strange occurrences began. People heard sorrowful wails by the river. Some saw a ghostly woman in white beneath the ancient tree. And those who glimpsed her often fell into sickness, just like Ka. Men, Old Man Duong's nephew, had returned to the village after a devastating accident. Once strong and full of life, he had lost a leg and his entire family in a tragic event. Now he felt nothing but emptiness. One fateful night, Min wandered toward the riverside. The wind whispered through the trees and the river reflected the silver glow of the moon. A soft rustle behind him made him turn. A woman stood there. She wore a flowing white dress, her long black hair cascading over her shoulders. Her eyes, deep and sorrowful, met Min's. "You come here often," she said, her voice as light as the breeze. Min hesitated. "Who are you?" he asked. "Where do you live?" She didn't answer. Instead, she smiled faintly. "Aren't you afraid?" she murmured. "No one dares come here at night." Min chuckled. "I don't believe in ghosts." The woman remained silent. Then in a whisper, she said, "Some things exist, even if you don't believe in them." Before Min could reply, he noticed her face growing paler, her eyes sinking deeper, and a thin trail of blood trickling from the corner of her lips. She slowly lifted her hand toward him. Min screamed. Min was bedridden for 2 days, feverish and delirious. When he finally woke, he heard the sound of funeral drums outside. Old Man Duong sighed. "Lum, that drunkard, hanged himself at the banyan tree last night." Min's blood ran cold. Lam was a notorious drunk, a man with a dark past that no one spoke of. That night, Min sat before the family altar, staring at an old photograph of his late uncle. Old Man Duong stood beside him and spoke gravely. "Your Uncle Ut, he was that young school teacher." Min's heart pounded. He felt a chilling presence in the air. Outside, the river shimmered under the fading moonlight. A soft mist curled around the banyan tree. Beneath its shadow, a faint figure stood, her white dress swaying gently. She gazed at Min with those sorrowful eyes, as if she had one last thing to say. In a riverside village, a ghostly woman in white haunts an old banyan tree. One night, young fisherman Ka sees her and falls ill. Old Man Duong reveals a past tragedy. Lua, a young woman, took her life after her fiancé, a school teacher, mysteriously drowned. Since then, her spirit lingers by the river. Min, Duong's nephew, encounters Lua's ghost and faints. The next day, Lam, a man with dark ties to the teacher's death, is found hanged at the banyan tree. Min later discovers the teacher was his uncle. As he looks toward the river, Lua's sorrowful ghost fades into the mist.